Hello! So, I'm here today to talk to you about checkpoint 1, alright? So, I know some of you open up the group project, you read the instructions, and then you look at the data set, and then you go like, oh my gosh, right? So, let me help you out, okay? Actually, checkpoint 1 is not difficult at all, okay? It's just an application of everything that you learn in tutorial, and in fact, it's an extension of the spy activity. It's almost like the spy activity, but no proxy measures. Alright, so okay, let me explain to you the scenario just for the fun of it. Okay, have you been reading out aloud all the names? Yeah, my TAs and I have been coming up with funny names to entertain you while you do the assignment, right? So imagine that you and your project group mates are a team of renowned private investigators known as the No Sheet Sherlock Investigators. So the CEO of Floating Lock Cruises, Mr. What's Going On, recently approached your team to help him investigate a mystery. Something happened to a majority of passengers aboard the cruise ship, the HMS Coco Fondue, when it sailed out to sea on the 25th to 26th of January. And the affected passengers are preparing a class action lawsuit against the cruise company. Yeah. So, the crew of the HMS Coco Fondue insists that they have done nothing wrong. That may be the case, but it's also likely that the crew might be lying about it. So, this is why the CEO wants you and your team of investigators to find out the truth of the matter. So as not to bias your investigation, the CEO has chosen not to reveal what happened to the passengers. So you have to figure it out on your own. Okay? So to facilitate the investigation, the CEO has handed over several Excel spreadsheets containing information about the passengers and the activity. And so your task is to find out what's going on, right? So question 1 is descriptive analytics. Find out what on earth happened to the majority of passengers on the ship. Yeah, that's question 1. Question 2 is, yeah, okay, now we know what happened to the majority of passengers, so what caused it? Okay, so let's take a look at the data set. Alright, so you open the data set, you see this, yeah, so type in your tutorial class TD0 whatever, or TE0 whatever, a project group. Come up with a project group name lah. That's for the fun of it, you know. Something to rally behind, a fun name, okay? And yeah, your group members. Okay, now if you look at the spreadsheet, you're going to see that, oh my gosh, there's 10 spreadsheets. Oh my tiana, right? So, well, okay. Actually, it's not so bad, okay? Before you start doing anything, okay, it's very, very important that you understand what's going on in all the spreadsheets. So I think I've observed 10 plus tutorial classes, and one thing I noticed is that during the spy activity, many of you just jump straight into doing the Vlookup. Oh, Vlookup, and then you and then you feel so lost and confused. Oh, why am I supposed to Vlookup? Why am I supposed to pivot table? If you don't know what's going on in the data set, of course you feel very lost and confused. Yeah, so it's very important. You see the data set, you're like, oh, then breathe. Breathe again. Breathe one more time, okay, just for good measure. Okay, now so you take a look at every spreadsheet, understand what's going on. We had, like, for example, here we have manifest list, right? You have manifest ID, passenger, passport, date of birth, nationality, lodging, category. What does each column mean? Okay, what does a manifest ID mean? What does the lodging mean? Okay, once you understand that, I need you to understand what does every line mean. So you look at the first row. Row number 2, passenger manifest ID P367509. The name is Karani Yo. Passport blah blah blah. Date of birth is blah blah blah. Nationality Pingaso. You know what country we're referring to? Okay, anyway. So understand this and then do likewise for all the other spreadsheets. Yeah, what does the first column mean? What does the second column mean? Alright, what does the third and fourth column mean? Okay, take the time, spend about 5 minutes with your group members, you know, to discuss what does it mean, what does every line mean, you know, like medicine ID, medicine description. Read out the names of the medicines. Okay, yeah, make sure you understand, because once you have a proper understanding of what is going on in every spreadsheet, then it won't be so intimidating. You won't feel so lost and confused. Okay, now we are going to apply a lot of the things that we've learned in tutorial, alright, in the lecture 2 and in tutorial. So you know, one of the things is in order to do the descriptive and diagnostic analytics, we need to do a pivot table. But as you can see, the data is split up into so many spreadsheets. Now, you might be asking why. Okay, two reasons. Number one, I'm giving you practice for VLOOKUP because some of you asked for practice, and I will say this, that there's not enough. In fact, there's no publicly available data set information that's out there for you for me to give you as practice. So all this VLOOKUP practice I have to create from scratch. In fact, this data set took me 3 days to hand massage until you get this data set. Okay, so also when you go out to work, because when you're given data sets, right, it's pulled from a database, and a database will tend to store information like this, right? Because when you store information in separate tables or separate spreadsheets, right, what happens is you don't need to repeat a lot of information, so you get to save on your hard disk space. Yeah, so this is the case. But when it comes down to us humans trying to analyze, then we need to do the piecing together. The computer knows how to piece all these things automatically, so no issue. But us humans, we have to do it lah. And so VLOOKUP is the key, the means for us to do that. Once we VLOOKUP everything into a master list, or in this case, you might need to create more than one master list lah. Maybe 2 different master lists, 3 different master lists. I leave it to you. Some of you might want to just do one mega one. Okay, so that's fine. If that's too much to brain, do 2, do 3. All right. But what's more important is you need to VLOOKUP, bring everything together. Then you can do your pivot table. Okay. Now, remember from the SPY activity tutorial 2, you cannot just anyhow, I just VLOOKUP this, I just VLOOKUP that, here, there, everywhere, right? Remember, in the SPY activity, if you VLOOKUP in the wrong spreadsheet, what's going to happen? You lose information. Okay, so let me demonstrate. I am helping you to understand some of the things, then you can do better. Okay, I want you to excel, okay? Pun not intended, but I just realized it the moment it came out of my mouth. Okay, I want you to excel so that you can spreadsheet. No lah. Okay, anyway. Okay, so let me help you out here a bit, alright? Because I know some of you are still struggling. Like, where do I VLOOKUP? Where do I VLOOKUP? Okay, so don't worry, don't stress. Let me help you. Okay, so let's check out menu lists for a moment, right? Okay, so menu list, we have menu ID, menu description, and restaurant, right? Now, one of the things that we need to pay attention to is, the question is, where do you do your VLOOKUP, right? In the SPY activity, you learn in tutorial that if you do the VLOOKUP on the wrong spreadsheet, you lose names, right? So let me run through this process with you. So, okay, so now the question is, how many times does the menu ID appear? Menu ID is supposed to be the serial number for every menu item that is served by a particular restaurant, right? So serial number of the menu item, the dish, the name of the dish, and the restaurant serving it, okay? So we don't know, right? So we just create a pivot table, alright? And then we can check menu ID. So how many times does the menu ID appear? Only once, okay? And that is our menu list. Now, we can go to menu ingredient list. Alright, menu ingredient list, we have 2 columns, right? Menu ID and ingredient ID. So you let's look at, for example, over here, R10004, right? This dish, the menu ID appears 3 times because why? There are 3 different ingredients, yeah? So some things like, okay, we know that from the earlier spreadsheet that 10001 is apple juice, right? So apple juice, what ingredient you need? You only need apple, right? Yeah? But some other dishes require more than 1 ingredient. Why is this important? Because you see, for example, what happens if I'm going to do a VLOOKUP here? Okay, so let's do a VLOOKUP to pull the ingredient, okay? Look for this serial number, alright, and then pull the ingredient over, okay, 20, okay? So, and then you do this, what's going to happen? Because this one, the menu ID only appears once. Menu ingredient list, the menu ID can appear more than once, right? So, like, remember what we said? Like, see this one, R10002, the ingredient appears 3 times, right? You go back to menu list, 10002, right? How many ingredients have we put over with VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP only pulls one ingredient. So it gives you, so if you're not careful, you do the VLOOKUP on the wrong place, you get the wrong information, or rather you only get partial information, because VLOOKUP, because this only appears once, VLOOKUP can only pull one piece of information, the first thing that it finds. So what happened? This one had more than one ingredient, we only put one, so we lost track of all the other ingredients. You do your analysis on this spreadsheet, your analysis is all wrong. Okay, so we need to be very discerning and ask ourselves which spreadsheet to do the VLOOKUP. Why? Because as I say in lecture 1, just because it works does not mean that it works well. When you use computers, you put rubbish, the computer will still give you an answer. So we need to be very discerning and apply reasoning to see how to use these tools smartly lah. Okay, so a lot of the VLOOKUP, not say a lot lah, just a few of this VLOOKUP that you need to do, you do have to ask yourself, which spreadsheet do I do the VLOOKUP on? You can answer this, then you do the VLOOKUP properly, right? First, so step 1, understand all your spreadsheets and what all the columns mean and what every row tells you. And then you ask yourself, okay, I want to do the VLOOKUP, which VLOOKUP do I do and why lah, okay? Then the question is pivot table, right? I know some of you are a bit lost, you not sure, not confident about pivot table. Where do I drag what here, there, everywhere, right? Alright, so let me demonstrate to you how pivot table works, okay? Because I know some of you are still confused, right? You don't know, like, oh yeah, where do I put what in, drag what in what, right? Okay, so we need to be clear about the question that we are asking. For example, I want to know how many ingredients are in each menu item, for example. Okay, so I can just pull, for example, menu ID, okay, and then I can pull the ingredient ID. Oh, okay, that's a lot of ingredients, right? So maybe we don't do that. We just want to count, right? So I can just put it to the values, and I can see that, okay, here this thing has 3 ingredients and so on, right? If I wanted to do something like, okay, which restaurant serves what menu items, okay? When you do something like this and you see, oh wow, so long, right? Then that should go into the row. So let me just swap the thing around, okay? Now I can see that we don't have too many restaurants anyway, and then here are all my ingredients, right? Okay, so I can do a count, and now I can see at a glance, here are all the things served at all the different restaurants, okay? Now keep it like this, 111 maximum. Don't do anything more than that. Now, of course, this is not the ideal place to do a pivot table. Okay, yeah, I'm just using this because it's an easy demonstration lah. Okay, so go ahead, do your pivot table, your VLOOKUP, your pivot table. It's a bit tedious, but it's actually not too difficult. Yeah, and yeah. No proxy measures, so you don't have to have so keep your assumptions to a minimum. It's a direct measure. What happened and what caused it to happen, you can find concrete numbers to back your claim, right? Try to find, if you can, more than one evidence. Yeah, if you can call what they call in the sciences and social sciences, corroboration. If you can corroborate all the evidence to point towards one thing, then you know you're good lah. Okay, so I wish you all the best for checkpoint 1. It is not difficult, okay? It just needs you to sit down and think. So discuss with your group members, have fun, and more importantly, practice. Because once you can do this, once you conquer this, you can do anything on Excel already. You can confidently put this on your CV. It's actually not that difficult. Yeah. So breathe, calm down. If you find that you're stuck, you really don't know how to proceed, come and find me, alright? All the assignments are not meant to kill you. They're meant to challenge you. They're meant to make you think about the issues that are involved when we're using all these things. Because the last thing we want are more technical people who are brainless about this stuff, right? Because a lot of technical people are trained just to use these things, but they don't know how to think. So I'm trying to teach you to fill that gap in the industry right now, yeah? How to think for these technical people, yeah? Come and find me for help if you need, okay? All the best. See you. Bye-bye.